Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibbitz. It's Mary, and I'm here with today's edition of 90 Days and 900 Seconds. The other way. It's Tell All Time Part 2, guys. I wasn't mentally prepared for it to be a 2-hour episode, but it was, and it was a pretty damn good one. Between Danielle dropping all the damn receipts, Holly falling apart totally, and Wayne sitting there rolling his eyes like he couldn't give a flying shit. And finding out that Julio is a big fat liar. This was a pretty good damn tell-all episode. So let's set 900 seconds on the timer, guys, and let's get right into it. So let's start off with good old Julio and Kirsten. So we're picking up where we left off, which is everybody is jumping on the Kirsten hate train, and I'm not here for it. And yes, I'm looking at you, Tim, Danielle, and Shekinah mainly. Mainly Tim, who is a big fat hypocrite. We'll get into that more later. And I still don't understand what the fuck Tim is doing there. So anyway, Julio has his phone in his hand and he's all like, give me my phone. I have this recording to show you where I'm confronting Kirsten about deleting the text messages. And it's basically a recording where Kirsten is admitting, yes, that she did delete the text messages. Okay. And Kirsten is like, listen, this guy is my friend. Look, I even have him under homie in my phone. His phone number's under homie. And Danielle's like, listen, chick, we've all had fake phone numbers, stored under fake names in our phones. Every one of us have done it. And it's like, Danielle, shut up. Who asked you? Okay. Shekinah and her snarky remarks. Who asked you, Shekinah? Shut up. So Julio is all about, well, you guys are texting each other back and forth. You sent him a picture of of you in one of the dresses you were trying on. I mean, he made it sound like she was sending him nudes at one point. I mean, Andre was confused at one point. Andre thought that she was sending him nudes, and Tim was like, no, no, no. She sent him a picture of herself in a dress. And Andre was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, in my opinion, Julio was blowing up this whole situation to cover up what was coming up next. But we're going to get into it in a moment. It went so far, okay? Because Julio was like, oh, yeah, you call him Poppy and all this shit. And Kirsten's like, well, you call other women mommy. That's where I picked up the habit from. You call them mommy. I called him Poppy. I was like joking around with him, saying, "Oh, how's your love life? You're so good with the women. You're like a Poppy." And Tim, Mr. Hypocrite, Tim himself, I still don't understand the fuck Tim is doing there. Jumps down her throat. Oh no, 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 that's inappropriate. And I will get into why Tim is a hypocrite in a moment. Okay, so Kirsten calls homie. Tim's like, oh yeah, like he won't lie for her. Excuse me, Tim. Explain to me what you're doing there in the first place again. And homie explains that he's just a homie, that he's such a homie that he didn't even know about Kirsten's relationship with Julio, okay? That he's not even he didn't even know. Okay? So Kirsten then drops the bomb that the real reason why they broke up was in September after Kirsten visited the States and she went home. Julio was DJing a wedding and he met a chick. And he liked that chick a lot. And he started following her immediately after the wedding, not after the breakup, like Julio would like you to believe. No, because Julio tried to tell that story. He tried to say that he started following the chick after the breakup. And even Armando was like, months after, how did you find her? And he was like, well, there was tagged photos of the wedding party. And Armando was like, So basically, Julio's a big fat liar. Okay. He met this chick in September after Kirsten went home. He was already feeling some type of way about his relationship with Kirsten. He didn't want to move. He met this chick. He fell for her. And instead of having balls and telling Kirsten, listen, this isn't working out. I met this chick. You know, I fell in love. It's over. Blah, blah, blah. And instead of admitting that at the tell all, he decided he's going to concoct this whole thing about her cheating on him with her homie and try to throw her under the bus. Okay? I'm not saying that this wasn't a real situation. They didn't have an argument over it. He was feeling some type of way. Yes, I get it. But that was not the reason why they broke up. They broke up because DJ Julio met this chick in September after Kirsten left and decided, you know something? I'd rather be with this chick here in the United States than Kirsten. And this way, I don't have to move. So instead of Julio manning up at the tell all, he decided to be, and I'm going to say this, a bitch and try to throw Kirsten under the bus. And Tim, Danielle, and Shekinah decided to jump on the Kirsten hate train for no reason. And I'm not having it. So, to all of you, and Kirsten, I commend you for standing your ground and basically coming through with the receipts because Julio looked really uncomfortable when you said, no, hold up, wait a minute, what about bleep? Didn't you meet her in September? And didn't you start following her immediately after you met her? And let me tell you, Julio looked uncomfortable as shit. So you knew he was lying his ass off. So, speaking of poppies, we have the two possible poppies in the future, Armando and Kenny, who have 7 possible embryos. Now, there has been a lot of bumps in the road, okay? They've moved to Mexico City. Armando is still, worried about being kidnapped possibly, okay? But the great news is Hannah loves her new school. She's making friends. So they're doing great in Mexico City. Now, for the baby situation, their original egg donor ghosted them. So unfortunately, that pushed them back a little bit. And, you know, this whole procedure cost a lot of money. Okay, so it's $74,000 each time. So they have 7 embryos, and Armando wants to implant 2. Kenny only wants to do 1 because he knows what could possibly happen. That's how he got triplets, So now Sean asks if Tim has given advice to Kenny about this whole baby situation since Tim and Kenny are good friends. And after initially denying it, Tim admitted, yeah, he did. Because, at the time, he saw in Kenny's eyes that he really didn't want to do it. And he felt like he was pacifying Armando a little bit. Then, it comes forth that hypocrite Tim texts Kenny and calls him daddy. So it's okay for you to call Kenny daddy, okay? But Kirsten cannot call her homie Poppy. Tim, you and your onliner need to go sit in the corner and shut the fuck up. That's all I have to say. Okay? So anyway, it's all in good fun. They're good friends. Doesn't mean anything by it. Armando trusts Kenny completely. Everything is hunky-dory. We love Kenny and Armando. We love them so much. We learned that Armando likes to role play. They were talking about the gay club scene, okay? And Kenny says that Armando has given him a new lease on life, okay? And speaking of the gay club scene, while we were talking about the gay club scene, we got treated to a dancing lesson from Sarper that, in my opinion, Brandon enjoyed way too much. Okay. It involved like stroking your hand. Okay. I'm going to try to do this, guys. You can see it. Okay. Like stroking your hand and then like whipping it and then a tongue thing going down and unbuttoning buttons. All I have to say is Sarper looks sleazy and Brandon looked like he was enjoying it. Like doing the whole thing, following Sarper's lead way too much. That's all I have to say. So then during the break, after Kenny and Armando's segment, Shekinah asked Kenny when did he realize that he was gay. And Kenny said, during his teenage years, he dated a lot of girls, during high school. But, he realized, something was off, like late, teenage years, early 20s and stuff. And it turned into a game of never have I ever for some reason. And Tanya, is leading the game of never have I ever. Kalani's lost because, she's the Mormon, so she's never played never have I ever. And Tanya's like, okay, I'm gonna put up 3 fingers. And if you, I'm gonna say something that I have never done. And if you have done it, put down a finger. Never have I ever had a menage a trois. And immediately Kenny puts down a finger because Kenny has. Okay. Danielle puts down a finger. Okay. Tim puts down a finger. And Andre. Now, Tim admits that his menage a trois was with Veronica when they were a couple. Danielle says that hers was with the 90-day cast member too. I'm assuming Yohan. I'm interested to know whether Andre had his with Libby or was it pre-Libby? That's what I want to know. That like blew my mind. I was like, whoa, Andre. Interesting. So now, coming back from that little never have I ever break, we move to Danielle and Papi Chulo Yohan. I'm telling you, it's like the first half was like Papi. Okay, that was like the theme, Papi. Okay, so Danielle has the receipts. She has all the receipts that Yohan apparently was collecting women just to collect money, just to make sure that he had a steady cash flow. Yohan apparently is the definition of a skanky panky. And Danielle missed all the signs, even though her friend told her from the get-go that he was a skanky panky. She missed all the signs. So anyway, the woman that reached out to Danielle, that she talked about on the show, had sex with him a month before they were married. But currently, she's still having dinner with him and his family, sitting down, having dinner at his parents' house with him. And it's like, why? And she says because she wants to keep the relationship with his mother and his sisters. And like Tanya says, you can still do that. Not with him around though. Okay. And it's just like, okay. So you know what gave it away, guys? You know what gave it away to her that Yohan was doing her dirty? The pool floats in the New York apartment. The pool floats were off. Okay? Like she said, she came home to an unfortunate situation one day in the New York City apartment. And you would think that she caught Yohan in bed with another chick. But no, the pool floats were not where she left them in the pool. And her and Yohan were the only ones that floated in the pool on the floats. Now, call her crazy, but she knew that Yohan was in the pool with somebody else. And it wasn't his 19-year-old nephew, like he claimed. Because tell me him and his 19-year-old nephew would be floating around on pool floaties. No, she knew something was off. So she decided that she was going to friend every chick that he is friends with on Facebook. And the result of that was either she got blocked, they friended her, some of them reached out to her and told her things about Yohan. The ones that blocked her, I guess she followed the trail and she figured out that he was a skanky panky. Okay, so now, apparently, the apartment complex in the DR is his skanky panky apartment complex. This is where he takes his woman. That's why he wanted to live there, apparently. But I thought Danielle picked out the apartment. This is where I'm fucking confused. This part, I was like, huh? Okay. So, Andre is getting annoyed. You can see Andre, the fucking steam is coming out of his ears at this point. Don't get me wrong. I like Andre to a certain extent when he's angry, but why the hell is he there? Okay? He's like, Yohan, I need to ask you a question. Why are you sending dick pics when you are married? And Tim is like, he's not going to admit that he sent them while he was married. And Yohan was like, listen, I didn't send dick pics while I was in the relationship with Danielle, and I did not steal money from women. And Danielle's like, you are such a fucking liar. I have all the receipts. I have all the screenshots. And I don't know where all the money went because you're broke. And he's like, I'm broke because of you. And she's like, no, you're broke because you took out a $10,000 loan after I left. And he's like, yeah, I had to take out the loan because you left me in debt. Okay, and meanwhile, I'm sitting there like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, these two, I can't even. Okay, so Yohan's like, she ruined my social media reputation. Okay, she ruined my reputation with her bullshit on social media. Let me show you. Okay, let me show you. And he holds up his phone and he's like, check this out. Okay, check this out. Do you see what she did? And it's a post that she put on one of those are we dating the same guy pages, basically to let everybody know that he's a skanky panky. And apparently, as a result of that post, a couple of more women reached out to her. And Tim was like, wow. You know, at this point, it is like sociopath behavior. You have to protect your reputation. And Danielle's like, I know, like, this is crazy. So Armando's like, Yohan, I have a question for you. I have always been on your side, okay? Because I've seen Danielle treat you like shit. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, you know, somebody, finally, the voice of reason. Armando, preach it. You know, he's like, I've seen Danielle run over you, emasculate you, basically treat you like dog shit. Worse than dog shit, okay? But, you know, this is an example on how money can corrupt a relationship because it sounds like that you're focused on what she hasn't done for you. She hasn't given you A, B, C, and D. She hasn't given you a green card. And it really makes it sound like that your true intentions were to use her. And Yohan looks at him and basically tells him to go to hell. Excuse me? You go to hell, Yohan. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? Armando and Kenny are like, you know, they are the pillar of 90-day franchise. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? You go to hell. Okay? Armando is making a point. He knows what the hell he's talking about. So, to break the tension, Sean, she just brings out more tension. Let's bring out TJ's brother Yash and discuss the big argument that he had with Kimberly. Yeah. Okay, so Kimberly, she's proud of the way that she handled herself during the argument. Yash is shocked and annoyed. Watching it back now, he's like, I'm just really shocked and annoyed by her behavior. But Kimberly, she's proud of herself. And TJ says, you just can't take a side when they're fighting. I just can't take a side. And Andre, he's like, you have to. And the side that you're taking has to be your wife's. Okay? Because you have to, side with your newly formed family. And your newly formed family is your wife. So Kimberly says that part of the problem is her and Yash are very much alike. They're very blunt, and they have a tendency, to clash because they could be very confrontational with each other. And that's, a big problem. So Sean asks Yash, do you think Kimberly's ego is too big? And Yash is like, hell's yeah. So Sarper thinks that Kimberly's ego is way too much. That her ego is, that her temper, it is off the charts. Okay. And that as a woman, she needs to like calm down a bit. And Tanya's like, all right, so you're telling me that she's wrong for giving Yash the attitude that she was receiving. And Sarper's like, yeah, basically. And Tanya's like, okay. And Sarper's like, as a woman, you need to be gentler, calmer. The fact that she came at him with "Don't you dare" automatically is a turnoff, and you're not going to get your point across. A woman has to be calmer. And Tanya's like, but why? Okay. So Sean asks TJ, does she go, does Kim go downstairs and mingle with your family every day? And TJ's like, yeah, once every 2 to 3 days. And Yash says, she tries to make an effort when my mother is cooking and stuff. And then Sean asks Yash, are you happy that Kim is your sister-in-law? And there was a long pause, a really long pause. But then he answers, yes, because we're family and we have to make an effort. So there we go. Now, let's bring on even more tension. Holly and Wayne. Apparently, it's been 4 months, and she came back to the US for two main reasons. Yes, her mom was sick, and she had some credit card debt that she racked up in South Africa, apparently to buy Wayne some plumbing materials. And they haven't really spoken at length in 2 to 3 weeks. Apparently, there's communication issues with his phone. His battery isn't lasting long. I don't know. Well, personally, I think after watching this whole segment, he's avoiding her because she irritates the fuck out of him. And basically, she's been really depressed. And I think he's really depressed because his wife just picked up and moved back home. His business is failing. He's feeling lonely. And his wife is, back home in the United States complaining to him that she's depressed. And he really doesn't want to hear it. So once she spilled the beans to the rest of the cast that she, went back home to pay off credit card bills, which were because she charged materials for his plumbing business. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he just totally shut down up there on stage. And he didn't want to hear shit about her emotions and see her cry and everything else because he felt like that she threw him under the bus. Okay, so from the minute that she said that she was back home because she racked up credit card debt because of his plumbing business, That was it. He was like, whatever. She's crying again. Whatever. But on a side note, Shekinah, what is up with you sticking up for like all the wrong, I just want to say all the wrong points, okay? Because yes, Holly needs moral support. Yes, where is Wayne's moral support? I get it. But you are just acting like a mean girl. What the fuck is up with you? Shekinah, shut your lips. Please. Take a look in the mirror. Please. Annoying as fuck. So Holly's up there being overdramatic. Wayne is rolling his eyes because I think Wayne's emotional bandwidth is up to here. He can't take it anymore. Okay? Because he's depressed as fuck. His business is, his wife is gone. He's lonely. Okay? And he feels a type of way about his wife leaving. You heard him say, your mother is, your mother was only in the hospital for a short period of time. And Holly says she'll be able to pay off her credit cards in 2 months. Now she's saying that she doesn't feel like she's going to go back to South Africa. How do you think this makes him feel? I mean, he's, of course, he's going to sit there rolling his eyes after hearing her say these things and seeing her cry. Yes, he's been sympathetic. Holly says he has been there for her, but they haven't spoken because I believe his emotional bandwidth, like I said, is up to here. He's spent. He's done. And that's okay because all of us could be spent and done sometimes. And that's okay. But damn, Shekinah, shut up. Take a look at yourself. That's all I'm saying. Thank you so much for watching me. Please subscribe if you don't already. Hit that like button. Share my video with a friend or 10. And please consider joining my membership. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.